Okay. Here's how ancient wisdom began. Now, if you look at heaven in Genesis chapter 1, first came heaven, then came earth, then came void, then came the deep, then came the spirit, which was the sun, me, interdimensional, which spawnatology, the earth. I rewind the state of matter, I repolarized and a respawnatology of the state of matter. Then came heaven, the astronomical, stars, space. Then came Jesus, who resurrected and reversed time, astronomically reversed earth, which then ended earth, which then voided earth into dark, deep waters, which then created the polarity force field, which then enabled me to reverse the state of matter, spawnatology, the heavens, and that came after the earth. So I respawned earth, then I had to respawn the heavens. All that to set in motion. Once that went on, I went from future pastward and then deflected off and became a direction instead of an interdimension. That's another statement. But however, in the sequel of things, as an interdimensional being, I inherited the authority that was there in the beginning, the authority that was given in Genesis chapter 2. Now, the spawnatology came out of waters, obviously, through under the lands of clusters, which were formed by vaporizing rocks, which thickened through density. Now, that's a natural process, which then enables everything to spawnatology throughout the lands, and around the lands, and throughout the waters. Now, the whole process you've seen, it becomes a magnetic force field that puts Earth back in place after it ended. But then as it settles down, the astronomical side of things settle down. And that's the multiverse back in place, the stars back in place, only in reversed locations, reverse polarity. As going on, we fixate the compass to get back what we know by stealing the dimensions that we know and fixate the world as we know it. By fixating the compass, we still out what goes on and move normal the way we used to, what goes on in a polarity setting. Obviously, over time, polarity reversal will set anyway. But however, it wasn't me that ended the world, it was Jesus by reversing it. And then it was me that saved us from it. And then obviously again, it's me healing us through with the wisdom tree. Wisdom will go on after me, and now I'm no longer interdimensional. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. And this is where, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, the whole authority part runs on the telecommunications wavelengths between the portals, which Enoch wrote about, and the devices that Enoch wrote about, time devices and portals in the heavens and stuff. All this is all the magnetic fields. Now, ultimately, when I wrote about Muhammad and Abraham and how they freed the slaves, Abraham freed the slaves, and I wrote about how Abraham and Isaac and Jacob became Egyptian slaves, and Moses was the first prophet, and how Muhammad was the last prophet, and how Adam was an expected prophet, Jesus was a reversal. All the religions led to the end of the world, which ultimately led to me going to Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, which is the backup safety method. So religion was actually the bolt in the whole thing, which is why I'm non-denominational and I step aside from it. However, there's also a safety switch, as the earth has a real backup method. The true religion is the Torah, which is known as the 5 books of Moses. Obviously, people do go into exile, people do go into Exodus. obviously people do have kings, and obviously people do have Deuteronomy, obviously people do have numbers, obviously there is a quantum verse which quantum sizes, and there is obviously quantum physics, quantum printing, quantum computing. Obviously there is a time machine, and obviously there is a way of fixating it so it doesn't work in the wrong order. But obviously there is also just mixed messages. However, to continue right on, all are raised through the sun, and all are circulated back through the portal from the future, as they were the angels, and they were the giants, and they were the people that were the sons of Adam, were reflected or deflected back after Adam. I was the last man standing in that end world event in the void, and the story is true. Now, however, the wisdom tree of earth to heaven is being passed on until it's wiped off the planet and we lose paradise. Paradise is created by the wisdom tree, and so is the particles of reverse and generating. So ultimately we're living life stories backwards. Also at the same time we've learned a new language, which was the language taught by God and a language taught by the devil in the beginning, the serpent. These languages are just mixed communications made in the vortex of the magnetic field.